Yo, guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. Today, I am sitting down with Malachi Pullar-Latchman, who is the star of the recently released film, which everywhere but here is called Hounded. Here, it was released under the name Hunted, which is I know is confusing for some. It was difficult for me to find the film outside of the United States because it's called Hounded everywhere else. So if you're looking for it, it's called Hounded or Hunted. And again, thank you, Malachi, for sitting down with me, taking some time out of your day. I really appreciate it. How are we doing?
I appreciate this. I'm all good. I'm all good. Nice and early. I know that it's early over there,
Yeah,
so just had a conversation. But yeah, I'm all good. I'm excited. I'm
very good.
happy.
Good, good. And then so how'd you get into film in the first place?
Um, I think it's something that I've always wanted. Like I've always been quite a class clown. I would say I've been a
Okay.
class clown, and my mother needed something just to like um utilize my energy. I would say so. I went through, took me to drama school. I play sports, but I knew that sports I didn't really care for it.
Okay.
Like and I knew that, yeah. So my mom put me to drama school, and I felt at home. I felt at home just
Cool.
expressing myself. And yeah, developed through doing that. Started off doing like modeling, and then eventually I got into film. And yeah, it's been a long time. Like I've been doing this since, in terms of training, since I was 8, and then in terms of film, I've been doing this since 14.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Very nice. Very nice. And then how did you end up on Hunted? And like what attracted you to the film?
So on my last film, I'd actually met the director on my last film, Shark Bait, and that literally it was just a coincidence. We were just talking, and we was talking about life, and it was a really nice conversation. And he did say that he had like a project that he wanted to just shoot by me, and I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And when I read the script, I remember like every page I was turning, my jaw was dropping even lower. So I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and I was like, I remember messaging him and saying like, I want in, like
Yeah.
I want in. He was like, that's no problem. Um, Obviously, I auditioned for Chaz, and see the producers liked me. Director obviously knew that I would be a good fit for this, and yeah, that's how I got involved in it.
Very, very cool. Um, and so it's an incredibly emotional film. It plays with comedy, obviously, a little bit. The four of you guys do a really good job with being funny with one another. But does a film that's this emotional, does it ever take a toll when you're
Of
trying to
course,
act on set?
of course, it always does. It always does when you're doing things that's like emotionally draining. The thing is, as actors, we have to go through emotions very quickly.
Mm,
Obviously, in a day to day, like this is very normal. Like you might lose a family member, or you might find out that you got your dream job or you got your dream salary, and you can experience that happiness. But for them to both be when you're acting, you have to experience that on the same day, maybe
mm,
an hour apart. So it is exhausting because I'd have to spend a lot of my time just away and getting into that psyche of, okay, where am I at right now? It does help that we was already in the setting as well.
mm.
Obviously, we're on the field. We did not, none of it was green screen. So it is quite easy when okay, cool, this is real. I'm in a real life environment. I
Mm.
can real life in real life. I can see the horses. I can see the dogs. I can see the red wicks. So I was like, yeah, it is easier to connect, but at the same time, you know, it's easier to connect. I have amazing actors around me as well, and
Mm.
me and Hannah had a thing called the figure eight, where when she connects, she feeds me, and then when I connect to my character, I feed her. And I remember in doing so, just fueling our performances so much, because it meant that I had someone who had my back. Um, I had that with everyone, that was just in terms of the emotional side, but in terms of the comedy, I felt
Mm.
comfortable around, the crew, both the crew and the cast. So it felt no way for me to just throw out one liners or, connect deep into it, because like I said, real life setting, and I was with real people. So
Right.
yeah, it was
And
nice.
so you mentioned the dogs being physically there, and in the capacity that they're there throughout the filming.
Mhm.
Does that ever does it, when you work with an animal or a
Yeah.
person like that for so long, does that take a toll? Now you're looking at dogs differently than you would have a week before.
Oh hell no. One thing you have to know about Malachi. Malachi don't like dogs. I don't like dogs. Yeah, I'll say I'm a cat person, but me and dogs, put it down to childhood trauma. I don't really mess with dogs. So when I remember talking to the director, and the director was like, "Oh yeah, there's gonna be 12 hounds. There's gonna be 12 hounds on set." I just thought to myself, "Are you insane? Are you?" I thought we were gonna do like four dogs max, and then they're gonna in VFX or whatever, they're gonna enhance the amount of dogs that there are. 12. When I saw 12 dogs, I was thinking, oh my, I'm living my worst nightmare right now. So some of the time, like when I'm seeing the horse and I'm seeing the dogs and I'm running, yeah, that's not me acting. That's real life Malachi saying, I'm not trying to mess with these dogs. So, oh, they were a nightmare though. They don't listen. The thing is with dogs, yeah, when you have 12 dogs, they tend to do what dogs want to do and not what we want to do. So they're
Sure.
just running around set. There were some shots, yeah, which I remember just being in the zone, and I was reaching my peak, and the dogs were just ruining it, and I was like, I don't know if I can swear, but I was like, you messed up my take. You
You
messed
can
up
say
my
whatever
take.
you want.
So it was quite fun, but there is a saying on set, don't work with children and animals, and yeah, it was fun, but it was a nightmare as well at the same time. I remember spending literally a whole day on one scene, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie.
So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the sitcom Friends. Um,
Yeah.
so when they did the reunion, they asked what was the most difficult part of filming the entire series, and they all said working with the monkey. They said the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Working with the animal was the most difficult part. So you're not alone there.
Yeah.
Um,
It was crazy.
yeah. um, and then you mentioned again that you're on this set. I mean, it's not built. You're on location.
Mhm.
It seems like a very physically trying film where you're constantly running. You're up and down
Yeah.
rocks and hills and things like that. What's prepping for that like?
Well, I was quite lucky in the sense that my last job was a swimming job, and I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't get much more intense than that. Like I was
Mhm.
literally in the middle of the ocean, so
Wow.
filming for that one. So going into this one, I was already quite physically fit. So
Okay.
I play sports anyway. I play basketball, football. Um, I go to the gym, so I'm already quite physically fit. So in terms of that, I wasn't really stressed about the running and whatnot. I'll be very real. I think it was more so emotionally, but I do have to say that my director, the director, the crew, the whole crew, in fact, they did give
Mhm.
us the time to, if we were tired or we felt some type of way, they did give us time to just
Good.
gain our energy back. So they were very generous with us.
Very, very good. And then I wanted to ask you and Junior together, because you guys get to play brothers on set.
Mhm.
What's it like trying to forge a relationship like that on set?
Like I said, it's easy. When I realized that cool, Junior grew up in South London, I grew up in North London. It's the same, but it's still different. Um, but through conversations that we had, and I was like, yeah, I can definitely see he's a lot more mature than I am. That's for sure. That's one thing I say about Junior. He's very mature, and there's a lot of things that I look at him and I really respect it. And I am younger. I'm 22, and I think Junior's a bit older than me. He is older than me. I'm not too sure of how much older, but that maturity and that know how to be able to look at him and go, I trust you within acting. I
Mhm.
trust what you say. Your school experience is similar to my school experience as well. So I'm going, yeah, I trust you right now. And we've both grown up. Like we'll say in the end. So both grown up in um, quite similar environments. So the people that we are around, we're actually around, Chaz's
Mhm.
and Vix's and and Todd's and whatnot. So like these people are real people to us as well. So being able to have those conversations there with the type of person that he is, I felt that we were just brothers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, he gave me a safe space to just be able to be me, to be Malachi, and
that's so cool.
naturally that was I was able to become Chaz from that.
Very, very cool. Now, do you know if they casted that way intentionally, knowing that you guys had that sort of connection, that sort of bond already, or or
No, no,
did
no.
it just
It's
work out that
not.
way?
No, no, no. We never actually met until the day
Mm,
of the script read. But
mm,
like I said, the script read you can really tell whether the cast is good. And to be honest, the casting director and the director did an amazing job of who they casted because
mm,
I was so easy to talk to everyone. And don't get it twisted, I'm very easy to talk to, but at the same time, I'm a human. And like any other human, any situation can make them a little bit uncomfortable. So I was at first going into it, I was a little bit uncomfortable. But then, once we went through the script reading, we was talking about, our experiences growing up. I was like,
mm.
oh yeah, like you lot are very similar to me. Like, yeah, I understand what you're saying here. Yeah, I can see there's a person like that in my area too. There's a person like that in my area too. Or yeah, this stuff actually happens where I'm from as
Mm.
well. So yeah, it was nice, and I would say that Junior's from the more dangerous side.
Okay.
Junior's from the more dangerous side. So there's a lot of things that like that he can talk about, and the way how he just approached his character as well. Like I remember being in the script when he was like, yeah, he doesn't want to swear, and I was thinking, what? Malachi be spewing. Obviously, you're not hearing it today, but I'd be spewing out swear words sometimes. It's just an easy way to express myself.
Mm.
But the way his mannerisms and seeing how he maneuvers, he doesn't swear, and I'm like, it's very as a younger man, I'm looking at that going, yeah, that's quite admirable that you
Yeah.
don't swear, that you take the time to articulate yourself. So just as normal human beings, I'm looking at that and I'm learning, and naturally, it's just going to feed into my character.
Right.
So like into my character of in Hounded or
Yeah.
Hunted. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very simple.
Do you have any idea why they decided to release it under a different name in the United States?
Nah, I don't.
I
I was wondering. I thought that it's probably from a marketing perspective. You
yeah.
know, I think there is another Hunted in that's released in America now. Isn't
Um,
there another one?
there is one called The Hunt,
The
which
Hunt.
is act
Yeah, the Hunt.
which
That's it.
is actually a similar concept.
Yeah,
Not quite the same, but a similar concept, which I think I don't know. I don't know if I would have chosen to release it as Hounded in the United States, but nonetheless, here it is as
yeah,
Hunted. So
yeah,
I'll tell you, I was incredibly confused when I got an email with um a film, a screener for Hunted, and I'm trying to find it on IMDb. I'm looking up Hunted, and
yeah.
I'm just scrolling through. I can't find this film, and finally I realized it was released under a different name everywhere else.
What does Hounded like? I thought that Hounded meant like I don't know. Maybe it might be due to the name and the meaning that it is. I
It's
don't know.
possible. It's possible, but I mean, to be hunted, I mean, it doesn't have a great
Yeah,
connotation. I mean, hounded is kind of like a play on. It's obviously a play on the word
yeah, of
hound.
course.
But then, I mean, to be hounded, I don't know. I don't know if it's the same there, but to be like to hound somebody is like to constantly be on top of them, to constantly be bothering them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I did look at this. I did also find it rather peculiar,
Yeah,
but I was like, it is what it is. Like,
right. It
I
does. It
do I
does.
do get people DM me that's like, I don't know, but I did watch you in some. No, I think I seen you in Hunted, but I can't find it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's called Hounded. It's called Hounded
yeah.
because the trailers obviously come out as Hunted as well. So that's I'm not too sure why.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. It didn't affect the film. The film was still fantastic.
Yeah,
So,
I
um,
appreciate it.
of course. And then what's it like working with such a diverse cast? I mean, you have, like you said, you're 22. The ages range drastically. The backgrounds range
Mm-hmm.
drastically. What's it like working with that with such a diverse group.
Do you know where it's reflective of my real world environment?
Mm,
In London, it's super multicultural. Like you can't you I can literally walk for 2 minutes and go bump into someone from Romania, and then walk another 2 minutes and then bump into someone from Bangladesh. Walk another 2 minutes and then bump into someone from Vietnam.
mm,
So it's so diverse. So this is very like reflective of my real world environment. Um, like I said, the cast and the crew was diverse as well. You're going to see people from all walks of backgrounds. I remember my sound engineer was Spanish, so I was learning Spanish off of him,
okay.
and yeah, it was beautiful. And even in terms of in the film as well, having Vix, the character that she played as well, just not be a sex symbol. Like
Right.
I have female friends who aren't just there for sex. Who I know some I know some girls who are hustlers. Yeah, some women who are hustlers. Like
Yeah.
there's some of the stuff that the guys do, the girls do. So to
Okay.
see that in this film as well, that's reflective of what I've seen. Like
Mm,
she is not there for us to make sexist comments to, or to say, oh, you shouldn't do this, you're a girl. Like, no, this is normal to us. We know that she's been on this. Some of the women here are harder than the guys here.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was beautiful to see that she's strong, that she's her own person, that she doesn't,
Mm,
in a lot of film we see women depicted as, I don't want to use the word properly, but I want to, they're there just for the guy,
yeah.
just for the love interest of another man, or to be the barrier between two guys, you
Right.
know, um, and to see that, no, she's actually just a pillar of, she's equal to all of us. She's
Mm,
equal to all of us, and even approaching Chaz, I was like, there's gonna always be a sense of inferiority when you're the youngest in the group as well. I just know this genuinely, like from the culture of having an older, is that you always look to your elders for reassurance, or
mm,
for validation. So even though Chaz comes up with the smart plots and whatnot, he still very much looks at Vix and Leon and Todd as like his pillars, to
sure.
go, are we sure? Is this good? Is this good?
Oh, you froze for a second. Yeah, I lost you for a second. There we go. All right, so I can
Oh,
see.
yeah,
There,
yeah.
there we
Sorry,
go.
I'm not too sure what happened there.
That's all right. I have two of you up here now. I don't want to kick one
Oh,
out and kick both of you out. So we're gonna
no,
look at two of you.
oh, you're gonna. Well, hello there. If you can see me both.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, oh yeah. Okay. So one's on mute. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. It's just the culture that we're living. So yeah, the diversity is, to others it might look weird, but to me this is normal. This is just
Okay.
normal life.
Yeah. And you keep mentioning Vix. Vix a lot of the time is the aggressor in the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's the dominant character. And I think it's very interesting that they wrote her that way. I think it's very important that they wrote her that way, like you said. Um, but then you particularly, Chaz, he goes from the most timid one to he grows exponentially throughout the course of the film, and you're tasked with working with all of these fantastic actors.
Mhm.
They're all so good throughout, and I mentioned in my review that you just blew me away.
I
All right,
appreciate that.
of course you were fantastic. What's it like in an ensemble cast? What it initially is an ensemble cast, you
Mhm.
ultimately become the lead. What's it like being tasked with that?
Um, that's an interesting question. I feel like I was kind of approaching this as if this was like my day to day, like this, just understanding that culture of, like I said, having an older, and naturally, you know the saying that the student surpasses the master.
Hmm.
Um, and in my head when I was approaching this character, I don't think that Vix needed of course her character was written to do certain things that's like, oh yeah, that's badass. But at the same time, I can't take away from Hannah's performance,
Right.
because she really like emphasized that. So even having she's so strong-willed. She's so strong-willed.
Hmm.
So having those conversations with her, I felt a lot more confident. Like she would, just as Malachi and Hannah talking, she'll tell me things that I'm like, yeah, like that will give me more confidence in myself. And it's the same with Junior as well. I'll speak to Junior, and Junior will say things like, yeah, like, no, I can see that you're going to do this and this and this. And I'm like, yeah, that's giving confidence. I was already the youngest. I was
Hmm.
already the youngest. Oh my gosh, I think I was the youngest on set.
Wow.
Yeah, I might have been the youngest on set. There were people in my age group, but like in terms of where we fall, I think I might have been the youngest. But yeah, having those conversations, and how they spoke to me, naturally I felt as if, yeah, I could see that they babied me a little bit,
Yeah.
but at the same time that they appreciated the and they respected what I brought to the movie in total. So honestly, like I said, it is very easy when you have an amazing group of people around you, speaking to the Redwicks as well, when watching how Samantha Bond works, and watching how Nick Moran
Hmm.
works, and watching all of these nuances that they bring. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm taking and I'm absorbing, and I'm seeing the years of experience that they've had, and I'm going, yeah, that eventually the level of confidence that they walk in, and that aura that they have when they walk
Yeah.
in, that will rub off on Malachi. And Malachi, that feeling that Malachi had rubbed off on Chaz, because
Okay.
in this, of course, it's very intense. A lot
Yeah.
is happening in one day, and it's enough to make anybody mature. It's your fight or flight at the end of the day, and
Right.
Malachi's a fighter. So naturally, I was
Mm.
like, Chaz can be timid, but eventually, that timidness is there's only so much you can cry.
Yeah.
There's only so much tears you can drop before you think, no, I need to transcend this environment that I'm in. So that's the thing that I had in my head. Just Chaz is the difficulty that it is to transcend the environment that you've grown up in, the people that you've
Hmm.
grown up around. So that's what ultimately, that was what it was to me. That I was thinking, cool. Chaz wants to be like these guys, the people around him, but he's not. He's a lot
Yeah.
smarter. He's, you know, uh, he has a lot more potential, I would say. I would put him in
Okay.
quotation marks, because I never wanted to, just off of real people, I never want to take away from the fact that
Yeah.
no matter what circumstance you grow up in, you always have potential to
Mm.
to go on and be better than the environment that you grow up in.
Sure. Well, everything you did worked very well. Like I said, you were fantastic throughout. I was really impressed. And I want other people to be able to watch this. So where can people watching find Hunted?
You can go watch it on Amazon Prime, on Sky Store, on Google Play Store as well. Yeah, it should all be there.
Perfect.
Yeah, I do
I'll,
really
I'll
hope. I definitely know you lot will enjoy it, because I'm a big critique of myself, and I was like, whoa, this is really good.
Yeah,
It's really
it
good.
was fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, when I initially went in, I thought, oh, this is another one like The Hunt. This is another one like The Most Dangerous Game. But they do such a good job of separating it from that
Yeah.
10 minutes in, you forget about those. It's completely different, and it works so
Mhm.
well on its own. It's nice to
I
have
appreciate
those
that.
as a frame of reference, but it works so well on its own.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and then what are you working on now?
Right now, it's just oh my gosh, I've got the Three Musketeers that's releasing at some point. I played
Okay.
D'Artagnan in the Three Musketeers, so you can watch out for that one next. And then right now, I'm just working on my own projects right now. Doing a short movie.
Nice.
So yeah, just building work for myself, and building my own platform. I think
Very, very cool. And then I have one last question for you.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
what are some of your favorite films?
My favorite films. This is difficult, because
I know.
I feel like it changes, and I don't feel like right now I'm into films.
Okay.
I feel like right now it's tough. It's tough. It is very tough. But what would I say is my favorite film right now? I'm gonna say the most recent thing which I've watched, which was Training Day.
Okay.
I think the most recent film I watched was Training Day, and I was like, I took a lot away from it. I mean, I watched it already, but like, I was like,
Sure.
yeah, I took a lot away from it. But what is? Oh, my favorite film of all time actually is something that's just come out, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've heard so many good things about that, and I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Oh, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
I've never watched the movie. The reason that I'm saying that it's my favorite is because I've never watched a movie that has everything put into one.
Yeah.
It literally has everything put into one. So I was like, yeah, and as a creator, I was like, yeah, there's a lot that I could take away. Like that you don't have to be boxed into doing just horror or just
Right.
action. Like I could do that, and there is space in this industry to do that. I
Yeah.
don't know why I don't know why mentally I put limits on myself. If I want to write something, let me write something. And
Mm.
I feel like that was the first time I saw something that I was like very inspired. I was
Okay.
inspired to watch. Whereas a lot of the times I feel like I'm nitpicking and I'm going, oh, I could take that away. I see that's an
Yeah.
interesting choice. Why did they make that choice? So just as a creative, I was like, well, that's genius. So you definitely need to watch that. You definitely need to
Yeah.
watch that thing everywhere.
Well, I have a little bit of time today. I'm a teacher in New Jersey, and our teachers convention
Yeah,
is this week, so I have a couple of days off. So I'm hoping I'll get some time to watch in the next couple of days.
yeah. I did find it great. I did think it's great. But I'm trying to on the top of my head, I can't think of like, oh my gosh, and I love Poetic Justice as well. In terms of I'm a little bit of a lover boy. I can't lie. I'm a little bit of a lover
Okay.
boy. So Poetic Justice
Okay.
has my heart. Poetic Justice has my heart. I can literally watch that right now, and then at 10 p.m. watch it again.
Okay.
That has my heart. I'll be very real. Tupac and Janet Jackson just oof, the chemistry that they have. I was like, yeah. So
All right.
I feel like that's in total probably my favorite.
Okay.
Actually, I should
See,
say.
that's why I love that question, because it's so hard to answer that question.
Difficult.
Yeah.
Difficult.
But Malachi, I want to thank you so much for taking some time to sit down with me.
I want to appreciate.
I
Thank
know it's still fairly early over there. You just got up not that long ago, so for you
you.
to get up, for you to get up and hop right on. I really appreciate it. Fantastic job in Hunted, and best of luck in what you're doing right now.
Much appreciated. Thank you so
Of
much for having
course,
me.
you're very, very welcome. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye bye.